Hello, welcome back to another Cricket Nerds podcast. 2 in the same day. You are lucky. You're not really. But you are if you watched Australia versus West Indies, which was, only the second incredible test match that concluded today. Oh my word. It is an absolute treat to be able to watch 2 test matches like Australia, West Indies, and India versus England. There is one person that we really need to talk about for this whole thing, and that is Shamar Joseph, who on debut took 7 wickets for 68 in the second innings to win against Australia at the Gabba.
I think it was his second test match.
Oh, was it his second?
He debuted in Adelaide.
But... Yes, you're so right. But they drew the series 1-1. Tragedy that there isn't a decider test match, that it wasn't a 5-match series. West Indies needs to play more cricket, basically, more test cricket. And this proved it. But it isn't the first time this has happened at the Gabba for Australia, where a completely, underrated and frankly understaffed team. Yeah, there are none of the big players really.
Yeah.
From the West Indies come and they show their grit and they stand up and they smash Australia. I mean, it wasn't a smashing, it was a really, really close match. But Australia in that second innings, they lost, I think it was 8 wickets for 94 runs. So it was a bit of a capitulation from them, but just talk to me about Shamar Joseph.
I mean, so on debut at Adelaide, he took a fifer.
Yeah.
His first ball in Test cricket dismissed Steve Smith, who is potentially one of the greatest batters currently playing the game. So yeah, already that was a fantastic start to his Test match career. And then in this Test match career, in this Test match today, he was on one leg pretty much. He suffered a literal toe-crunching Yorker from Mitchell Starc at the end of West Indies' second innings. He had to retire hurt, which ended the innings. So he didn't even think that he would be at the ground. He said in an interview for day 4. Yet in day 4, the doctors managed to stitch him up and work some magic on his toe. And he bowled one of the greatest spells in Australia. He took 7 for not a lot, like 60 runs or something like that in an 11 over spell, which 12 over spell, which he bowled in its entirety, 11.5 overs straight through. He had a word with the captain and said, "I want you to bowl me until the last wicket has fallen in this Test match." And he bowled all the way through with the slight dinner break in between for some respite. But yeah, I mean, what a performance. I think we felt like after the first innings that it was in the balance. Australia very strangely declared on 286. They had lost 289, sorry. They had lost a lot of wickets though, after Travis Head departed on a king golden pair, a king pair? Can't remember what it's called. A king golden pair, whatever it was. He got 2 pairs, 2 first ball ducks. Anyway, a king pair. Travis Head, Australia were 4 for 24 and somehow scraped to 286. We thought the game was in the balance and it was very chaseable for Australia to get that 216. Steve Smith really owning his position now, opening the batting, was stranded on 91 and really looked the only bowler who was the only batter who was given it some fight, with the exception of Cam Green. But yeah, I mean, a phenomenal Test match and a phenomenal performance from Shamar Joseph, who, if he stays fit, could be an awesome prospect for West Indies in the next few years.
Yeah. And just on that decision to declare, that was really interesting from Pat Cummins, because it was a very Bazball decision. You know, if you
Mm.
cast your mind back to the first Test match in the Ashes, Ben Stokes declared somewhat prematurely with Joe Root not out, and England ended up losing that Test match by a very, very small margin. And, you know, look at this. Pat Cummins was on 64 off 73, and they still had Josh Hazlewood to come in, and they declared just so that they could have a pop at the batters before stumps, and it worked to some degree. You know, they did get I think it was Tajnarain Chandapal. They got him out, but you know it didn't work overall, did it? So really, really interesting. Lots of questions will be asked, I'm sure, but absolutely unbelievable Test match. Really thrilling end. Great for the game. And we just had to make a reaction video to it because it was awesome. So don't forget to subscribe and like, because you know we cover a lot of cricket, and we want to grow. So, and it's good to get the community. So let us know what you think in the comments down below about Shamar Joseph, about West Indies cricket, about Australia cricket, about anything you like. We love the interactions in the comments. Become a member is the best way to support the channel. And other than that, we'll see you later. Goodbye.
Goodbye.